If there was something Wyan liked the most, it was a good retail therapy. After a long week of back to back classes, tons of assignments, and an enemy who grabbed every chance to get under her skin, the last thing she could do was to spoil herself on weekends. I just hope I don't cross paths with him. She looked heavenwards and prayed to every energy of the universe. However, she had a long history of misfortune. The colors from her face drained the moment the annoyingly familiar voice reached her ears. She snapped her head so fast that she heard a crack. Across the banisters, on the far end, stood her worst nightmare, her sworn nemesis Kim Taehyung. He waved both his hands in the air, the corner of his lips quirking in a huge grin. For other people, it might appear to be the meet cute of best buddies, but Ryan knew better. Wait for me, he shouted again. Several eyes turned, some curious, some glaring. Ryan, however, had turned her feet away from him. Damn it, I need to run. And she did. She bolted as if her bottom was on fire. Piercing through the crowd, colliding with several people on the way, she ran to keep the peace of her mind. Jung Wan, stop! Behind her, he yelled her name relentlessly, but she didn't stop. If anything, her feet moved even faster. At the end of the hallway, she came across a lingerie shop. Without waiting for a moment, she rushed inside. She thrust towards the mannequin and hid behind it. Crouching on the floor, she clutched her back to her chest and panted heavily. Not a single normal day in my life. Sweat beads broke out on her forehead, which she wiped with a steady hand. Escaping from Kim Taehyung was like changing clothes in a glass house with lights on. You would be caught eventually. Peeking her head out from behind the mannequin, she spared a glance at the entryway. Nobody was there. She frowned in confusion. Has he left? She tried to sneak a glance outside the glass door of the store, but as far as she could see, he was nowhere to be found. He would come here, right? I hope he is decent enough not to barge in a place so intimate for women. She hoped against hope that no matter how unhinged he was with her, there was still some manners left in him. He wouldn't step a foot there unless, of course, he was into freaky stuff, which she believed he was. I think he is gone, she murmured to herself, a victorious grin fighting to stretch on her lips. Most certainly, a deep, husky voice breathed in her ear, startling her. She snapped her head towards him, eyes wide in disbelief. Beside her sat a very amused, very smug Kim Taehyung. He was immaculate as always, as if he had just walked out of a photo shoot. His hair was combed back, clad in a black leather pants and a red leather jacket. He looked infuriatingly breathtaking. The black tee he was wearing underneath had a deep neckline, the sliver of his wheaty skin peeking from inside. What a pleasure to see you here. The way his lips stretched in a menacing smirk, she knew the upcoming course of events would be anything but pleasing for her. Whenever I think you can't be any more unhinged, you prove me wrong. She hissed through her grated teeth, annoyed by the fact that he had simply walked in and hijacked her peace. Huh? Unhinged? What did I do? His smirk faltered. He blinked, feigning innocence, but she knew him better than anyone, especially his little acts of getting away from everything. You do realize that you are in a lingerie shop and you are a power to walk in here so casually. She narrowed her eyes and pointed a finger at him, almost poking his eye in the process. But no sign says men can't be here. The workers didn't stop me, so enlighten me on how being in a shop makes me a power. He crossed his arms on his chest, maintaining the same smug expression. She opened her mouth to retort. Finding no words in her defense, she closed it. He smiled triumphantly. That's what I thought. Her glare intensified. Curses blared in her head, but never made it out of her mouth. He seemed to be enjoying her reaction a little too much as his grin widened with every passing second. So, he spoke after a moment, bumping her shoulder with hers. The impact had her falling sideways. Damn, are you so malnourished that you couldn't bear a little nudge? He extended his hand towards her, but she slapped it away, her eyes throwing glores at him. Rubbing her arm, she sat on her previous spot. So, you're here, in the same place where I am. Is this a sign? He wiggled his eyebrows. Her eyebrows crooked in confusion as she glanced at him from the corner of her eyes. Sign for what? She heaved a huge sigh and looked away. Though she could run away, she knew he would follow her. She'd rather use her energy to deal with him than run from him. You know, you are everywhere I go, so are you perhaps? He paused for a dramatic effect, tilting his head smugly. Stalking me? One inhale so sharply she choked on air. She coughed and coughed, a hand slapping her chest, the other pointing at him. You. It took her a few moments to calm down, where her expressions changed a thousands of times. In those few moments, his grin retained. I, Jungwan's talking a joke of human? Ha! She laughed out loud like a hyena, flapping her hands like a penguin. He remained as conceited as before, not a single twitch at his also expected reaction. With his index finger, he flipped the loose strands falling on his forehead. Just look at me. I have everything a woman desires in a man. I'm handsome, the most handsome of all the men you would ever come across. My bank account is stacked. I'm chivalrous, a complete gentleman. Who wouldn't want to be with me? His shoulders lifted in a proud shrug, a whimsical grin playing on his lips. She gaped at him with a look that implied, why am I even here? You are too full of yourself. She shook her head, disappointed but not surprised. As I should be. He turned and blew a kiss at his reflection in the glass panels of the desk displaying perfumes. They bickered, still crouched behind the mannequin. One of the workers of the store noticed. She walked towards them, eyes squinting in suspicion. Excuse me. Taehyung and Van stopped and jolted up to stand on their feet as realization dawned upon them. Yes, miss. You both have been here for a while but haven't bought anything yet. Are you planning to steal? Her hands rose to rest against her hips, eyes scrutinizing them like a predator. Van gasped in shock and craned her neck to glare at Taehyung. They are mistaking me for a thief because of you. Your presence itself is hazardous for me. He scoffed, placing his hands on his hips after sliding his jacket aside. This movement revealed more of his chiseled chest, but Van's focus was elsewhere. Did you just call me a thief? A thief? I didn't. She did. She pointed at the worker who was on the brink of losing her patience. He turned, his finger pointed at himself. Just look at me, miss. Take a close look. Do I look like a thief to you? Every thief says the same to appear innocent. Ryan burst into laughter while Taehyung looked like he had been betrayed for a lifetime. Never had anyone ever insulted him with a straight face and in a pink uniform. You should be thankful that you are a woman. My mom taught me to respect them. Had you been a guy, my reply would have made you cry. He tried to hold on to the last shred of his self-respect, but it went in vain. The worker pulled her sleeves up to her elbows. Taehyung stood unfazed, but the moment she cracked her fingers and squared her shoulders as if preparing for a fight, his confidence faltered. You have 2 seconds to get out before I punch the superiority complex out of you. His eyes widened in pure horror. Go on, miss, she cheered, earning a deadly glare from the man beside her. She bolted when he pounced on her, barely dodging the fist of the worker. Now laugh. Hold like a hyena. Come on. He had her neck in a chokehold in the crooks of his arm, pressing enough to hold her still but not hard enough to hurt her. She flapped her hands on his forearm, slapping and clawing at his skin to break free, but he wouldn't budge. Let go of me, Kim Taehyung. She thrashed, but he didn't falter. Her hands reached out to grab his hair. She pulled it with her strength, earning a loud yell from him. Oh, leave my hair, Jungwayan. First, you let go of my neck. I can't breathe. She tugged at his roots, painfully tighter. Fine. On the count of three, let's take our hands back. Three, two, one. Instead of letting go, she pulled his hair even harder, and he increased the pressure on her neck. Traitor, they both yelled in unison, both of them equally stubborn, neither willing to let go. Let go if you don't want me to pull your smooth tendrils right here, right now. Finally, after what felt like a World War III, both of them made a peace treaty through their eyes and let go of each other. She coughed, rubbing a hand on her neck, while he hissed as he massaged the sore roots of his hair. She glared, he glared. She clenched her jaw, he clenched it even harder. Both yelled at the same time, huffing like two raging bulls. The rage stayed as long as any civil conversation ever lasted between them. 5 seconds. 5 seconds was all it took to morph his rays into his usual cocky smirk and her glare into a side eye. I can't believe you followed me till here. You are so obsessed. He flicked his hair. The shy smile that broke out on his face made her rage. For the last time, Kim Taehyung, I didn't follow you. I'd rather follow a trail and jump into a ditch. Her nostrils flared in anger, but it only gave a boost to his ego. Oh, are you that upset that you want to die? So cute. He grinned from ear to ear, reaching out to pinch her cheeks, but she slapped his hands away. Stop irritating me. Skull twisted on her face. She rubbed a hand on her face, taking deep breaths to calm herself down before her blood pressure could spike. It was supposed to be a therapeutic day. Why did you have to show up and make it dramatic? She fake cried, stomping her feet in defeat. Hey, hey, calm down. It's okay. I'm here. I'll make it better. He skid to her side and draped an arm on her shoulder. Her glare bored holes in his head. Imagine the trauma saying it would give you therapy. What an irony. She snapped, rolling her eyes sarcastically. He, the ever so unbothered and self-obsessed lad, shrugged proudly. Oh, come on, Princess. I'm not as bad as you think. I'll buy you whatever you like. Follow me. He made his way towards the women's section, leaving her flustered behind. The nickname always made her blush and angry at the same time. It was one of those times when she had gone to watch a movie and to her misfortune found him already there with his niece. She had to take her to the washroom. His niece leaked very embarrassing information about them wearing matching pink underwear. Ever since, he would always tease her with the nickname of Pink Princess. Come here, Jungwan, before I change my mind. He called out, snapping her out of her flustering thoughts. Clearing her throat, she padded after him. Tell me again why I have to try these on and show you. I don't need your validation. She cocked an eyebrow. Her arms filled with the dresses he has chosen. Because I'm paying for them and I need to know if they are worth it or not. Not everyone can look perfect in everything like me. Raised his head, chin tipping high in pride. Her nostrils flared and as anger bubbled in her nerves. Wait, squint your eyes a little more, jut your out your lip a little more. She unknowingly followed his command. Perfect. You are looking exactly like a camel. His face broke into a devilish grin. Vian, however, was blazing in anger. You, she raised her hands to attack him, but he held her wrist mid-air, twirled her around, and pushed her into the trial room. Before she could make a fuss, he shut the door. I'll kill you, Kim Taehyung. Her faint yell came from inside, followed by the sound of her incessant banging on the door. Just try those dresses and let's get over with it. The banging stopped after a moment and then silence. He turned, raking his gaze around the store, her bag slinging on his shoulder. Vian came out wearing a butter yellow dress. Smoothing a hand down, she twirled, waiting for his response. She couldn't believe she was doing this, letting her enemy help her decide her outfit. Yet, here she was. It's fine, fine. She needed an exaggerated gorgeous. Fine wouldn't work. She went back inside to try on the other dresses. She tried two more dresses, and every time his response was the same. Why did you even ask me to try these dresses on if you are going to say fine for everything? Wasted my time for nothing. She took a step ahead to put the dresses back in their place, but Taehyung snatched them from her. We are buying all three of them. Three of them? That would be very expensive. His lips twitched as he waved a credit card in front of her face. Chill, Pink Princess. I am paying. Follow me. He walked ahead, carrying the dresses in one hand and her handbag in another. She shrugged and walked after him. Ryan stayed behind while Taeyong asked the staff to pack her dresses and forwarded his card to make payments. The bag was given to him. Then the cashier swiped the card. Sir, please enter your PIN here. Ryan, enter the PIN code. Huh? Me? But how would I know it? Why wouldn't you know the PIN code of your card? Alright, she was about to press a button when the wheels in her brain reeled. Realization hit her like a tidal wave. This is my card? She shrieked loudly, shocked and enraged. He gave a firm nod, a smile mocking her for her stupidity. But you said you would pay. I am paying, Pink Princess. With your card, he laughed mockingly, his eyes twinkling with mischief. Van was roaming in the mall looking for Taehyung. He had run away with the shopping bags, leaving her alone in the store. Of course she had to pay. I'll avenge this. I'll make you regret it, arrogant. All of a sudden, a hand shot out in front of her, holding what appeared to be a tumbler of cold coffee. Her gaze moved from the hand to the arm, shoulder, and finally settled on the face of the man. Kim Taeyong grinned at her, wiggling his eyebrows towards the coffee cup. Her handbag was still poised on his shoulder, shopping bags hanging on his forearm. Take it, it would help you calm your temper. Let me guess, you used my card to buy this again. She folded her arms across her chest, an eyebrow rising on instinct. Nope. He shook his head, half amused, half proud. I used the cash this time. I swear to God, Kim Taeyong. She advanced towards him. He backed up, holding both of his hands in front of his face. We don't want to waste coffee due to a fight, do we? It's expensive. He blinked innocently while she reluctantly stepped back, taking deep breaths to calm herself. She took one tumbler from him and took a sip. The taste of cold coffee and chocolate spread on her tongue. Delicious, right? My choice is the best. Her anger had ebbed. She had realized that there was no use in wasting her energy on him. She wouldn't let him ruin her entire weekend. You know what? We should hang out more often. I have noticed you look happier whenever you are with me. Your face turns red, you tremble with happiness. She rolled her eyes when he boasted about himself. Too cocky. I don't glow with happiness, I just. Never mind. She trailed off, dismissing it. She knew if she had started talking about it, he would purposely irk her and she would for sure snap his neck. She walked ahead, leaving him behind. Wait for me, Pink Princess, I'm carrying your bags. He took a huge sip of the cold coffee and trotted after her. When Wine turned to look at him, a smile threatened to break. The froth had smeared over his lips, resembling a white mustache. Her hand shot out, wiping it away with a practiced ease. You are such a kid. She chuckled and walked away, but Taehyung, he had frozen in his place. One soft touch and his body had broken into countless goosebumps. His heart thumped so loud it rang in his ears. The world faded away, leaving only the two of them. What he had been feeling lately felt illegal to even speak about. He thought she was only a batchmate he liked to tease. However, nowadays her smile, her subtle unconscious touches, her closeness undid him in ways he had no idea about. How could one stolen glance at her make him breathless? And why was it happening only because of her? It was wrong, sickening. It was an illness. It had to be an illness because a normal person's heart doesn't go from resting to running a marathon in the blink of an eye. Go away! He jolted up and punched the air in frustration. For the last few hours he had been trying to fall asleep, but every time he closed his eyes, Wine appeared. You are such a kid. Her words echoed in his head. His fingers unconsciously feathered over his lips. He could still feel her touch, gentle, warm, and lingering. He shut his eyes and the scene flashed back like a fresh memory. He got goosebumps. His chest felt tight. His mind blanked. He could see nothing but her, feel nothing but her gentle touch, hear nothing but the soft, melodious voice of her laugh. Is this what they call the first stage of going insane? He flickered a glance at the ticking clock. 3 a.m. The darkness loomed outside. The world was asleep, but there was not an ounce of sleep in his eyes, only thoughts centered on one person who had started to feel different. What are you doing to me, Jangwayan? He fell back, face first into the pillow. He let his mind wander to her until darkness claimed him. But even in his slumber, he thought only of her. She had corrupted his dreams as well. Wine tapped her feet, glancing at her watch time and again. She had worn the dress Taehyung selected for her. Needless to say, it looked gorgeous on her. Now she was waiting for him to show up so that she could play some tricks and fish up some compliments from him. Where is he? As if summoned by her thoughts, he walked in, looking breathtaking as ever, not a hair out of place. She leaned against the pillar, knowing he would stop by and start his morning by praising himself in front of her. She put on a bored expression when he approached near. The young eye, her words died in her throat when he walked past her without sparing her a glance. She straightened up, jaw dropping in utter shock. Did the cocky Kim Taeyong just ignore the mighty Jung Hwan? She scoffed, breaking into a laughter of disbelief. It had never happened before. Something must be wrong with his eyes today. Hwan settled in her seat at the very back. The seat beside hers was empty, and the person claiming it was missing. The class is about to start. Where in the hell is he missing? Just then Taeyong entered. Her spine straightened on its own. So what if he didn't see her in the morning? He would definitely sit beside her now. She smiled at her thoughts, but it soon dropped when he changed his course and sat at the far end of the row. What's wrong with him? She frowned, confused and teeny tiny worried. Earlier he would fight with others just to sit beside her, and now he had turned his back and walked away. Did he hit his head somewhere and lose his memories? Why is he acting so weird? She stared at him the entire time, but not even once did his eyes flicker towards her. She didn't know what to feel about it. Definitely not restless. He would definitely come now. He can't avoid food. She smiled to herself as she sat at the table in the campus cafeteria. He loved stealing her food. He would eat half the portion from the same plate, so she would buy extra. Her expectations proved right when she saw him walking in her direction. She pretended to hide her plate as she moved closer. I want. She paused and blinked in a daze when he walked past her table and towards the food counters. What shocked her more was when he grabbed a plate for himself. Something is definitely wrong because Kim Taeyong is not getting under Jung Hwan's nerves and still breathing. Impossible in normal conditions. 2 days had passed since Taeyong had gone quiet. He wouldn't even look at her, and Hwan, she was going bonkers. She couldn't understand why he had started ignoring her all of the sudden. She couldn't remember doing anything that would have made him upset. And so, to find the reason, she came up with a plan stalk him. And she was on the campus basketball court to spy on him. She threw on a black hoodie, the hood pulled over her head, eyes hiding behind black shades. She tried to be as anonymous as possible. Look at him laughing with the others. Her brows frowned as frustration took over. His behavior was the same with others, jolly, amiable, and charming. Why is he giving me attitude then? Her lips unknowingly puckered in a pout. She couldn't understand why she was so affected. He was just an enemy, someone who annoyed her the most. This is so heavy. She wiped her face, balancing two big grocery bags in her hands, waiting for the bus to pull up. All of a sudden, her eyes caught a familiar yellow scooter moving in her direction. Kim Taeyong's love, buttery rider. She kept her bags down and waved her hands over her head. He wouldn't ignore her this time, right? He would stop and give her a ride back home. He always did. But her expectations were shattered when he sped up his scooter and rode past her as if he didn't see her. But he did. She knew he did. Heaving a huge sigh, she stopped her feet like a child having a tantrum. Why are you ignoring me, Kim Taeyong? The tip of the pen pierced through the stack of papers as Vine stabbed it in her notebook, her furious gaze fixated on the man on the far end of the row. 5 days, 5 days of no drama. Even her batchmates had started noticing. Did you know something is going on between Taeyong and Vine? The girl sitting in front of her muttered to her friend. I know, right? They don't sit together, they have their lunch separately. I'm honestly bored. There's no entertainment without their banters. She whispered back, though Vine could hear everything. I think they had a huge fight and now they are separated. They always fight, nothing new in it. They hummed thoughtfully. Oh, I remember something. 2 days ago, I saw him with a girl. He goes for a run there every day. I think he has a girlfriend now. Weinhardt sang, girlfriend? Despair surged in her head. Sad. I used to ship them. They would have made a good couple. They kept gossiping, but Wyan couldn't pay any heed, not after the mention of his supposed girlfriend. She wasn't supposed to feel bitterness about it. After all, they were nothing to begin with. Just two batchmates who spent every moment planning to ruin the peace of other. Then why does it hurt? Maybe hiding behind a bush wasn't a good idea. Wyan realized it late when the bugs kept buzzing in front of her face. She was back to her spy skills with the same spy look, which looked more like a burglar about to rob banks. When she saw Taehyung jogging closer, she jolted up. This is the time. When he ran past the bush where she was hiding, she emerged. Kim Taehyung, she yelled at the top of her lungs. He paused just for a moment to glance back. Upon seeing her pouncing in his direction like a wolf about to attack, his feet sprang to action. He ran even faster. She sped up, running with her full strength to catch up, but unfortunately her penguin-like feet and turtle-like stamina was no match to him. Stop there, Kim Taeyong. Why are you running from me? She shouted behind him, her knees wobbling as she failed to catch up. The distance between them kept increasing. Go away! And he ran away. She collapsed on her knees, breath coming in short pants. Her chest ached, and she couldn't contemplate whether it was from running or from the indirect rejection from him. She had found out that he had no girlfriend. Those girls were making things up. But still, why was he ignoring her? She couldn't find the reason behind it, and oh boy, it was making her so desperate. Wyatt stood in his living room, looking around the house. Maybe it wasn't decent of her to just barge into his house, but he left her no choice. She had tried her best to talk to him. If he were going to ignore her, she would corner him in his own house and make him talk. The password wasn't hard to figure out, as self obsessed as he was. It was his birthday, and how did she know his birthday? He made her buy a gift for him on his birthday. You need a lot of explanation to do, Kim Taeyong. Meanwhile, Taeyong lay on the gym floor after an intense workout, his eyes blankly staring at the ceiling. He thought avoiding her would work. He would get better, but the more he tried to stay away from her, the more his heart craved for closeness. What kind of virus did she give me? He still thought it was an illness. His body was betraying him. Thus, he did the most Kim Taeyong kind of thing. He googled it. Why does my heart beat fast near one person? The results popped up. Google, the traitor, told him he was attracted to her. He immediately cleared his search history twice. No, impossible. He immediately started doing push ups on the floor to reset his brain. Push up made sense, his feelings did not. He decided he would keep ignoring her until his stupid body stopped acting like it was auditioning for a K-drama. Unbeknownst to him, the chaos had walked in, slowly and sneakily. As Vine peeked inside the gym, she found him doing push-ups like the floor had personally offended him. Let's see how long you can play this ignoring game. She walked closer and slowly lowered herself on the floor and then slid underneath him, right under his chest as he was pushing down. He stiffened and gasped so hard he almost inhaled the entire room. Hi, she smiled sweetly. He hovered above her, arms trembling, partly from shock and partly because her face was very close. So close he could see the moles she hid with concealer. What are you doing? He stammered, face flushing red. I'm talking, which I assume has become a forgotten thing for you. His gaze remained fixed on the movement of her lips. His heartbeat? Oh, poor man's heart was drumming like a festival dhol. Get out from under me, he whispered urgently when he felt himself on the brink of losing his sanity. No, please. Kim Taeyong saying please was shocking, but not enough to falter her. No. Why are you like this? He groaned, his arms trembling from being in the same position for long. Why are you ignoring me? She narrowed her eyes. His body froze, throat went dry. He looked like a deer caught in the headlights. I am not. You literally ran away from me yesterday, so don't you dare to lie. She cut him off before he could gaslight her into believing otherwise. That was tactical repositioning, a very bad timing for cracking a joke. Taehyung. Fine, he pushed off the floor and sat upright. Wine sat in front of him. Your closeness does things, he blurted out. She crooked an eyebrow, confused. Things? My heart beats too fast, my skin reacts, my body malfunctions, my mind goes blank. This is only you and nothing else. Blurted in one breath. She blinked, surprised by the sudden confession. Are you saying you feel attracted to me? His eyes widened with horror as if she had just accused him of tax fraud. No, I mean, yes, I mean, I don't know. It feels weird. You make me feel things I don't understand. Her lips twitched. She had seen many sides of him, but flustered Taehyung was her favorite. And you thought ignoring me would help? It always works. When I avoid campus drama, it goes away, he muttered, his voice small, pouty even. You did not just compare me to campus drama. She looked offended. You feel like it. You walk in suddenly, it's chaos inside me. Chaos inside him because of her. Her heart melted like butter in a hot pan. The corner of her lips lifted in a slow smile. Oh, she crawled towards him. He gulped and slid backwards. A smile curled on her face as she kept moving towards him until she cornered him against the wall. She stopped in the space between his parted thighs and lifted her hand to his good looking mass of a face. His body reacted instantly, heartbeat rocketed, stomach fluttered, goosebumps appeared. He swallowed again, eyes flickering away. It's not a malfunction, Taeyong. It's liking, it's attraction, it's affection, she whispered, slowly tilting his head to meet his eyes. No, I don't do those things. I'm a tough guy, whispered desperately, though his heart spoke an entirely different story. She chuckled, the sound made him inhale sharply. But your reaction says otherwise. She teased softly, tracing her thumb under his eyes. The warmth of his red cheek beneath her palm gave him away. Traitor, he groaned. She laughed. The sound hit him like an electric current. He finally gave up, leaning forward, let himself collapse on her, burying his face near her shoulder. Great, I'm hugging my enemy. Her fingers twitched before she let herself wrap them around him. The distance had made her realize her feelings. The restlessness didn't arise from nothing. Your heart is beating so fast, she whispered, afraid to break the stillness. He nuzzled deeper and exhaled sharply. You think I don't know that? You can just admit you like me, you know. She giggled when he groaned at her words. She cupped his cheek, lifting his face to hers. He took a shaky breath. When you come close, it feels like my whole system gets rewritten, like someone hacked my brain and put only you inside it. Her breath hissed. She hadn't expected him to say it so honestly, so openly that it hit straight into her heart. You were everywhere, here, here. He pointed at his brain and then at his heart. You have even corrupted my dreams. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to scare you with how intense it feels, and I didn't want to ruin whatever we had, so I thought. He trailed off, feeling light after blurting everything out. Oh damn, I didn't know you could be romantic. She chuckled, though her cheeks burned. He stared at her for a long moment, then slowly, like he was discovering the move for the first time, he dipped his head. She met him halfway, sealing the confession with a kiss. It was awkward, hesitant, though a little clumsy, it was real, warm. She smiled into it. However, he pulled back abruptly, looking furious at himself. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have, but he wanted to. She interrupted. He opened his mouth and then closed it. Well, maybe a little. His lips twitched in a shy smile. She chuckled, bopping his nose with her fingertip. Taehyung, huh? Wanna do it again? His heartbeat skyrocketed again, but this time he didn't resist her urge. He kissed her without hesitation, still clumsy, still intense, still breast-healing, but undeniably filled with the feelings he once thought were malfunction. And in that moment, he stopped ignoring her forever.